Podcast. I feel like we need to do a little disclaimer beforehand for all our Swiss viewers. Every time we talk about international hockey on this program, you always bash the Swiss. I know, what have the Swiss done to you? Like, seriously. What has the Swiss done to you that's so bad? Well, apart from post-politics vision. Okay, apart from Politics Vision 2025. But apart from that, what have the Swiss literally done to you that's so bad? Well, I just don't get why they're always in the top tier, where they don't play like a top tier team. I mean, they are a team that should really be in Group B, or Division 1A. I'm sorry. And, I mean, how do you go with this one in Prague? In the group stages, yeah. One in the group stages. That's bad. Right, well, I'm going to pull up their Olympic and World Championship records to try and, just provide more meat to the bone here, okay? So, Switzerland competed in every Olympics since 2006, and in that span, in 2006 they came in 7th place, in 2010 they came in 5th place, in 2014 they won the bronze! They won the bronze in 2014! In 2018 they came in 5th place, and then in 2022 they came in 4th place. So, 2 out of the 4 Olympics I've been involved in so far, they've been in medal matches. So that's not bad. That's not a bad showing there. Then the World Championships, if we go from 2010 onwards, so in 2011, they were in 6th place. 2012, won the bronze. Won the bronze. In 2013 and 2015, 6th place. 2017... So 2016 in 7th, and in 2016 and 2017 in 7th place, 2019 5th place, and then in 2021, 2022, and 2023 4th place, and then in 24 and 25 they were in 5th place. And of course, in 2025 they beat Sweden in that 5th place match, which was a bit of a shocker, given how, as we just said, they only got 1 goal scored in the group stages. You go and face Sweden in the 5th place match, you think Sweden will get it, and then nope, Switzerland gets it. In a shock result. Yeah, so I feel like Switzerland needs to be given more credit than what's been than they already get here, because Switzerland have actually shown competitiveness. I've not seen it. Well, excuse me. You've only been properly involved with the games since PHL, so before that, Eurocom C comes up with the rest of the Easterners. Yep, so you don't really get to have a say pre-2024. Where's me and Lady do? Yeah, where's me and Lady do? Yeah, so, yeah, let's remind ourselves who got roped in here and who's been committed from the very beginning. Alright, so let's just leave that there. So, I feel like Switzerland needs to be given more credit where there's credit to do here, because they've been done very well. I mean, to get to the male matches at least twice in their Olympic appearances, and then to have had a run at that in the World Championships, then follow on the World Championships, that actually is quite impressive. So, Switzerland have shown that when they need to be, they can compete. It's just the problem is, you're going to be in a group with the US, Canada, and also Finland. You're going to struggle. Because those are the 3 who are C is more likely to be ones competing for the medals. And then it's... So, I just feel like... No, but I just feel like, why is Switzerland always in the top tier when I don't think they've competed well being in the top tier? I just don't feel like that. So I'm just... they've never not been outside the top tier. So, make that what you will. Yeah. So, Switzerland in Milan are going to be coached by Colin Muller, who's actually been with the national team for quite some time, so he's not a newbie like we've had with a few so far in this series so far. We talked with the coaches. I'm just going to run you through his coaching pedigree as of right now. So he began coaching in 2000 when he became head coach for HC Fribourg Gotham. He then joined the coaching staff of SC Rapperswil between 2000 and 2001, and then later was head coach from 2002 to 2003, again with HC Ereborough Gotham. From 2003 to 2008, he served as assistant coach for Sean Simpson at EB Zug. The duo moved on to coach ZSC Lions from 2008 to 2010. In 2009, ZSC won the Victoria Cup Challenge against the Chicago Blackhawks of the National Hockey League. So he's beaten hold on. He's beaten Tommy. He's beaten Tommy at a hockey event. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. The ZSC Lions won the game 2-1. Sean Simpson moved on to the role of head coach of the Swiss men's national team, and Muller was promoted for a short stint as head coach in 2010. He was head coach of the NLB team EHC Autumn from 2011 to 2012, after serving as an assistant coach of the Swiss men's national team during the 2011 World Championships. Muller was handed further responsibilities by the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation. He coached the under-20 squad while continuing as assistant of the men's national team. Again, working as an assistant to Sean Simpson. In 2013, they won the silver medal, the first for Switzerland since they won bronze in 1953, and they coached together at the 2014 World Championships as well as at the 2014 Winter Olympics. He was Simpson's assistant coach in 2014-15 at Lokomotiv Yaroslavl of the Continental Hockey League. In 2014-16, he followed Simpson again, being named assistant coach for the Clawton Flyers when Simpson became head coach of the club in December 2014. After the club announced budget cuts and was taken over by new owner, Muller's contract was mutually ended with the Flyers in May 2016. That month, he was named assistant coach of Older Mannheim of the Dutch Hockey League in Germany, again as assistant coach to Simpson. Their contracts ended in 2017. In February 2019, he was named assistant coach of the Swiss women's national team. In July 2019, he became the head coach, replacing Daniela Diaz. He is the only Swiss women's coach to have led the team to the medal round in each of the last 4 major championships, including the Olympics and the 2023 World Championships. In addition to the women's national team, he has served as assistant coach for the Swiss national under-20s men's squad at the 2023 World Championships in Halifax, as well as the advisor to the under-18 women's national team. So, he has got a huge pedigree of coaching experience. Yeah. Which, particularly at Switzerland, where you know full well who's in your group, you know it's going to be a very tall order. You know you're very likely going to get a bad matchup in the quarterfinals. Mm-hmm. Well, we're lucky you get to go through to quarterfinals. Pluto! Can I finish my point? You know you're going to get a very tricky opponent in the quarterfinals. You need somebody who knows what they're doing, has got the experience, and can lead your team well. And of course, it was the recent Olympics of Switzerland in the bronze match. Yep. We're not talking about 2014. We're talking about 4 years ago. Yep. The most recent Olympics. Yep. So who's to say they can't get there again? Especially if you look at who's in Group B. the only two teams I could see potentially contend in the medal match from Group B would probably be Sweden or Japan. But they was very much likely you need to get past Finland and Czechia in the quarterfinals. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Okay? So that's not happening. Yeah, so it will not surprise me if Switzerland ends up competing in the medal matches again, because Group B was a complete pushover, especially if you take into potential that Germany has to maybe falter. Yeah. So I think this is a really good call. You're keeping hold of him. He's been with the team for more than 7 years now. Knows what he's doing. Has done very, very well in getting Switzerland the opportunity to play for medals. And he's the only person who's done that in the World Championships. He's the only person who's managed to do that for Switzerland. That is something that should not be knocked at. That is something that should be looked at as a success, not as a hindrance. Yeah. But I just look at this squad and think, you're gonna struggle. You get a struggle, because US and Canada are going to be seized the top two. Czechia could do well. Finland could potentially do well. We hope. Yeah. So it's going to be quite a struggle for Switzerland. Yeah. Oh, please say don't. Oh no, I'm dreading what he's going to say now. Oh no, he's about to speak, boys and girls. Just brace. Oh, don't take the piss. Don't melt your part, love. God's sake. You know I'm having confidence in me today to be nice? No. Okay. So, the fact he's been with the team for quite a while, that gives him a massive tick. The fact he knows what the wins game also gives him a massive tick. But when it comes to those crunch matches, so namely the quarterfinals, how well is he going to stack up? I just don't know. I mean, well, we only need to look back at the previous Olympics, and he did very, very well. I mean, he got them all the way to, the males match, where I'm just going to look at what happened in that male match. I'm going to look that up. Why are we having fireworks? 30th season? Yeah, that's not till tomorrow. You know fireworks start off early when it comes to holidays on this street, Pluto. You should know that by now. Right, so in Beijing, Switzerland were bottom of Group A, and they did not get a. Or was that this? Or was that for next year's? Sorry, wrong one. You put me off. You brought up the fireworks. Not my fault. People are starting New Year's celebrations today early. Right, I'm on the right page now. Right, so in Beijing, Switzerland came bottom of Group A. They're in that group. They were with Canada, US, Finland, and the ROC. And in that group, Switzerland only won one game, scored 6 goals, conceded 27. And that meant for the knockout stages, hold on. Right, for the knockout stages, it meant that Switzerland were ranked 5th, and that meant in the brackets they ended up facing the ROC, but they managed to beat the ROC. They beat them 4-2. Then got knocked out by Canada 10-3 in the semi-finals, but would go on to face Finland in the bronze medal match, where Finland won that by 4-0. So there you go. Yeah. So got to the male match, not bad. Yeah. And that's very, very recent. So And then you follow up with World Champions in 22-23 in the bronze medal match. Not bad, but you lose to Czechia. So the Swiss were looking at, I think we got the medal match, we won. A big team like Switzerland getting the medal matches alone would be taken as a win. Yeah, would be taken as a win. Yeah, because you look at that thing. Oh my God, we're not really seen as a competitive squad. We hardly get a look in. We're always having to face the US and Canada. What do we do? Yeah, so I would say if I was Swiss and we got the medal matches alone, I would take that as a personal victory. And I think if that was happening again in Milan, you'd have to look at that as a personal victory. He then go on to win the medal, which probably won't be the case. It's a personal victory, yeah, because you've got in there when other teams who probably should have been considered potential candidates to go to the medal matches, didn't. No. So it's going to be very interesting. It'll be interesting what happens when we get to those knockout stages and you have to reseed everyone and see what happens there. Yep, that would be interesting, especially of course obviously you've got Pluto players involved. It could then raise the stakes just a little bit more. Yep. So anything else you want to add on Switzerland? Because I think this is a really good choice. He's got that experience from Beijing. Because he's been with the team since 2019, so he's got that experience from Beijing. Could use that to help bolster the team up going into Milan, especially given how you probably look at that thing. You're probably not going to do well again. Yeah. Particularly the group stage. You can look at that and build on Switzerland on that, but on the whole, I think it's a really good choice for Switzerland. Given how this is a nation that we look at from Group A, and we think, okay, are you really there just to make up the numbers? Yeah, because and Switzerland, it's a funny situation because Switzerland, they've never really been out of the top tier in the women's hockey. They've never really been out of the top tier. But the fact that they end up being grouped with the likes of US, Canada, Finland, that is what then really dampens their chances. Yeah, that's when then kind of then dampens their chances, and they just then falter. So you have to wonder what does Switzerland have to do to get past teams like Finland and Czechia to then potentially be up there because as a strong contender. Because when they get grouped in groups that aren't US and Canada, they exceed expectations. But when they get put in groups with US and Canada, they then falter. Yeah. The fact we've got Austria and Denmark coming into to the top tier of the World Championships in 2026, that could then be interesting because what happens with that? Because that you also wonder how that's going to affect the groupings and whether Switzerland can go there because they potentially be in a group with at least one of those heavyweights. We will see. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, we're going to be doing an episode on that. Yeah. After the World Cup finals, yeah, because obviously the Division 1 will be played before the top division, and we'll know who gets promoted. So we're going to do an episode on that. And we'll cover the format for the top division as well. Yeah, we're going to do 2 episodes on that. After the World Cup has been handed out in May. Yeah, that is what we're going to be doing. Yeah, just before to keep reminded of that. Time. And that might have to be an annual thing, because it looks like the World, because obviously top division is November now, and I can't remember if they said that other divisions get moved as well, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll have to reload it up. Yeah. Any other thoughts you want to make on Switzerland before we go? And please, no, not about on politics, Vision. What, like how Zoe Means did not deserve to get a Neil Pratt? Don't you dare bring that up! You've done it now! Don't you dare bring that up! Love Zoe's song. Honestly, Europe, get music taste! Get music taste, a lot of you. I don't know. See, knew we couldn't last. Told you. Knew we couldn't last. I'm really pleased for Switzerland to have. They've got somebody that they can trust because it's going to be a tough tournament, particularly in the group stages. They could potentially get to semi-finals. Yeah, I could easily see Switzerland getting to the semi-finals, but it probably would have to come at the expense of either Czechia or Finland. Because in Beijing, Czechia did not get to the semi-finals. They got to quarterfinals, but then faltered there. So, if either Czechia or Finland faltered in the quarterfinals, I could then see Switzerland getting into the semis, and then that would then put them a guaranteed medals match, and they could potentially, depending on who they would then place, probably the bronze match, could then have another bronze medal. Well, they could shut this one up for another 4 years. Yep, up. Look, they won something recent! Nah, but there again, George, I think Switzerland could probably win bronze in Milan. He still would say, you don't deserve to be in the top division now. Pluto! I need to see consistency. So, sometimes you just can't win. I'm not gonna try and bother. Okay? Sometimes you just can't win these situations. You really can't. Oh dear. Anyway, so I think Switzerland is a really good choice. Yeah. So really happy for them, and we'll see how they get on. In Milan-Cortina. Now, obviously, because Switzerland is the final thing I'll say. They're in the same group they were in Prague, so you have experience over these 4 teams. Hopefully, they can build on that, and then maybe try and do a little bit better in the performances, because yeah, it was just a poor showing in Prague. It really was.